is Jessica, and welcome back to the Hive. I'm freshly back from Europe. Okay, not so fresh, but at least we have air conditioning again in Arizona. That's really kind of important. We're back in the studio, and today we're talking about small businesses and what it's like to get one started. And with me today, I have Christina Cook, and she just recently decided to make the plunge into becoming a self-employed business owner.
I did.
Why?
Why?
I know, the big question.
That's the first thing. I think because sometimes it can come with age, sometimes it can come with experiences that change in life. And I think, for me, I think the biggest change and where it switched up for me was you go through life and you go through having kids and, you have dreams and you sometimes remember them, sometimes you forget them. And I'll never forget, I was actually in a meeting with a boss and he was kind of going over a lot of different details and telling us, hey, I just need the team to pull together and we really need to work harder and make this dream happen. And man, it hit me. And I thought, well, whose dream?
Right.
Is this your dream? Am I making your dream come true? Because this
Right.
isn't my dream. I'm just here to collect a paycheck.
Right.
This is your dream. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I think I forgot what my dreams were. I got so busy in life. I got so busy being mom. I got so busy being a good, employee. I got so busy being a good person and a sister and a friend and everything else. And then I forgot that I had dreams too. And then I remembered, no, I get to still have them.
Yeah.
Regardless of my age, regardless of where I'm at in life. And so I said to myself, this is where it begins. And I had nowhere to go, mind you. I had no idea of exactly what I was going to do.
Truthfully, I don't think any of us do.
Yeah.
And I think, and that's one of the things that I want to kind of just, one of the myths I want to dispel is that I don't think, I would venture, in fact, I would love some feedback on this from you guys. I think most people who jump into business have no freaking clue what they're doing. They don't want to admit because then they look weak or ignorant or uninformed and or less knowledgeable. That just because you don't know how to run a business doesn't mean you don't know how to do what you're selling or what you're promoting.
Oh, absolutely.
You could be an expert in your field and be a terrible business owner.
Oh, yes. I've worked for many.
There you go. That's actually how, I mean, and for those of you who are familiar with how I got started in business, that's how I got started. My dad was really great at flying planes, sucked as a business owner. It really drained him. And that's why watching that growing up and watching him struggle with that is how I got started. There is a book out there. If you haven't read it, I encourage it. It's E-Myth. And in there, it talks about where a lot of people, a lot of business owners get in there because they look at their bosses. So this may be it.
Yeah.
And go, I can do better than that.
Oh, 100%. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially when you come in and you think, okay, maybe I don't know it all. You're the boss, you're the owner, you know everything. And then moment by moment, day by day, you start being able to see, oh, actually, you don't have all the answers, and you don't know everything. And I will say this much, when you've got a really good owner, when you've got a really good boss, they're going to stand up and say, I know I don't know everything.
Right.
And I need help.
Right.
And those are the people that I think you can really learn from. And I've had a few of those. And then I've had a few of those that really had no idea what they were doing and they never would have admitted it.
Right.
But yeah, I think that is where it starts. I think that that's a huge a jumping off point for a lot of people is I can do this better than you. I feel like I could, improve the systems. I could improve the way that we're doing things, but they have very little say in being able to do anything or make any significant change that would really make a difference in what they're seeing in productivity or, client care or, any of those things.
So far, so how far in the process are you? So have you set up your LLC? Are you going as a sole underneath your social security number, sole entrepreneur?
Yeah, sole entrepreneur, yes.
Okay.
For right now. It might change.
What has you doing that? Like why in your head?
I think mostly just because I'm still kind of in this stage of feeling things out. So let me just rewind the clock for just a minute.
Okay.
This isn't my first business.
Okay.
So my other business actually came by mistake. I didn't actually mean to actually have my own business.
Oh, I love those.
I left my job. I left in a huff. It was an awful situation, and I said, I need to have more time with my kids. What if I started cleaning houses? I'm going to start doing that. Now that was something I did end up setting up and was an LLC and all that. But I started cleaning houses, and then I had a friend who said, "Well, I want to do what you're doing." And I said, "Oh, great. Let's just do that. We'll just start cleaning houses together. That'll be fun." And then a couple of other friends, and then a friend of a friend. And pretty
Wow.
soon before I knew it, it was her and I were partners of a sort. It was still kind of my business, but she started taking on a lot more responsibility. And then I had other people. And then before I knew it,
You had a full-blown business.
I did. I had 8 employees, and I was contracted with property management companies to go out and
Great.
turn over rental properties. And, I had, cleaners that were going out and cleaning, and I was going out and training and checking their work. And I thought, oh my gosh, what just happened? I didn't mean for all of this to get this big, but it was truly just I just wanted a better life.
Mhm.
I wanted something different. And then it kind of evolved, and then I wrote it for as long as I wanted to. It wasn't like a dream to have forever.
So, and it's great, and I love this about you. So then, because
Yeah.
then you have like the two different aspects. So that one was very spontaneous. This one sounds more planned.
Very much so.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then that one, so that one you finished through, and now this, so you've had the full cycle on one side from beginning to end.
Mhm.
And we'll get to that. I want to hear how it ended in a bit. So
Okay.
we're going to jump all over the timeline.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, you can't even look at the end yet because you still in step one.
Yeah. Yeah. Very
Okay.
much in step one. So, not saying that I won't take it to, getting bigger and doing the LLC and, kind of shoot, I don't know, partnerships, this and that, collaborations, all the things. Right now, it is just the beginning stages. And because this isn't just a spontaneous thing, this isn't a born out of necessity. This is I want a plan and I want to change.
Yeah.
I want a whole lifestyle change. I want to look back at the rest of my life and say, this is something so completely, vastly different than I've ever done. So yeah, it's
You
a
know,
little
that's
scary.
interesting you should say that because before we were talking about the struggles of being 50 and over,
Moment.
the whole reason why I got into being bookkeeper, and I've been a bookkeeper way longer than I ever want to admit, but it was because I got irritated because my bosses would question me about why I wanted time off. And I felt
Mm,
really indignant about why do I have to explain to you why it's important to me to go to my kids' PTA meeting or my kids' um uh whatever, soccer meeting,
yes.
whatever. Like I
Yes.
need time off. I need to take care of my kid. I don't need to explain it to you because I'm a good worker and I've proven I'm a good worker and I always get my job done and I never leave you hanging and you still want me to explain why I need time off. And I get it now as a business owner, I
Yeah.
kind of get it,
Yeah.
but it was still, to me, it was demeaning. So I didn't like it. So I was like, that's it. I'm going on my own. And so that was one of the factors. That wasn't the only factor. But now I'm in a different phase of my life where it's like that phase was about making ends meet, making life
Mm,
easier
yeah.
than what I had. Like it was hard to manage a job, a W-2 job and my kids and all of that. And now I'm in a different phase where it's more about what's important to me. What is it
Yes.
that I want now that my kids are out of the house? Going back to what are my goals?
Mm-hmm.
What do I see my future like? So I'm kind of interested in investigating how many people 50 and over jump into businesses and how that compares to 30-year-olds jumping into business. I would
Yeah.
love to see. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
So, okay, we've started.
Yep.
First sales. Have you gotten any?
Yes, I
Okay,
do. I
good.
do. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
was that?
It's
Nerve-wracking?
it is nerve-wracking. Wow. I will tell you, these that my very first client, probably the scariest and yet the most rewarding by far.
Okay.
I mean, obviously rewarding because it's your first client. Woo, right? But I think it's the scariest because you go, "Oh, oh no, this person's going to sit down with me and they're going to actually expect me
Right.
to do something real for
Right.
them.
Right.
I think in that moment I kind of had this, before about 20 minutes, I think actually, before they showed up, I thought, oh, this isn't like playing grocery store.
Yeah.
you're, you're like, oh, these are real people with real life and real issues, and
Right.
they're looking to me to help them,
Right.
to help with what they've got. I mean, this is a real person sitting before me saying, I feel lost. I don't know what my next steps are. I need help. And I'm coming to you for that.
Right.
And you can do the education and you can do all the things and the certifications and you can plan and prep but man, sitting before a person looking at them going, I'm here to help you and I'm responsible for making sure that I help you in the very best way that I can and being present here in this moment for you.
So it's
That's a lot.
different. It's different now that
Big,
you're
yeah.
the boss
Yeah.
and not the employee, because
Absolutely.
the buck stops with you. Like, it is your neck on the line. It's your reputation. It's your everything to make sure that goes through. Where as the employee, it's like, if it doesn't work, they'll find another one.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't just get to clock out at the end of the
right,
day.
right.
And
So that's a
yeah.
great point too. So let me ask this.
Mhm.
How many hours do you think you spent prepping for that moment? Now, I want you to
Ooh.
add up shower hours when you're like thinking in the shower going, okay, like if you had an estimate in a 24-hour period, how much of that did you spend thinking about work?
Wow. Well, first of all, how did you know I had most of my executive meetings inside the shower? Because those happen a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but gosh, I think, I think just for prepping, if we're going to narrow it down to maybe just like a new client coming on, how many hours do I prep for that client alone? Ooh, probably a good 30.
Yeah.
Plus, 30 plus. And that's just because they filled out the paperwork. I've looked it over. I'm trying to, get something because I want them to leave after that first time with me feeling hopeful.
Right.
That's my biggest, takeaway that I want them to have. So yeah, it starts with that in the shower going, okay, how can I approach this? What can I do? How can I be better than the last time?
Right.
And then it goes into what didn't work on the paperwork? How can I refigure that? How does that look for the next person? Should I ask for the feedback? Wait, I did get some feedback. Yeah, I need to change that. I mean, so
Yeah.
you've got all of that going on, and then it's the sitting down and going through the paperwork, changing all that. Then the reading all the paperwork. Oh my gosh, they're so different than the last person.
Right.
Kind of the same goals, but a lot of the stuff behind it is different.
Right.
Their nutrition goals are different. Their lifestyle is different. Their background is different. How do I now tweak it? Because it's never going to be a one size fits all.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot
It
of
never
that.
stops, does it?
It doesn't. It doesn't. There's a lot of pressure that goes into it, but it's good pressure.
Right.
It's good.
You start feeding off of it in a way.
You know what? You're right. You do. You do. I think you do.
It's kind of sick, but it's good.
You're right. You're right. You do. And you almost come to appreciate all of that because then when you get to that third or fourth person and you're sitting down with them and you think, okay, maybe this part got a little bit easier and this part got a little bit easier, but ooh, here's a new challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can almost look back and go, oh, but look at how well I did, how great I was at overcoming those challenges with that person. Now I'm even better. Okay, I know I can get better.
Right.
And I know I don't know it all, but I know I can get better. And
Right.
that's kind of the big thing that you kind of want to stay focused
What
on.
was the biggest problem the biggest struggle so far?
Oh, I think probably the biggest struggle that I've had is I'm a perfectionist.
Mhm.
And one of my biggest hurdles is learning to allow myself to not be a perfectionist, but still allow myself to have perfectionist moments.
Okay.
Because those are good. Those are driving. Those are motivators. Those help me get out of my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Those stretch me. Being a perfectionist as a whole exhausts me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get that too.
But so kind of trying to learn how to balance that, I think has probably been one of my biggest things, my biggest hurdles. And I think that kind of couples with that. The other one is being very careful to not go down my rabbit hole of watching other people that already do what I do and comparing my chapter 2
Yep.
to their chapter 20.
Yes. So
That's
I
hard.
actually talked about it in a different podcast. That is that's a business development stage where you get to
Yeah.
when you're growing your business, and at first it's kind of like the birthing process when you first put it out there and you're like, I'm not even sure if this is going to work. I think it's going to work. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I know what I'm doing. Somebody said to do this. Somebody said do that. And you're just throwing everything you can at it, and you're not sleeping a lot and you're worrying way more than you. And so that's kind of like to me, it's like life cycles. Like, so that's like the whole birth of the business. And then you get comfortable, and then you do reach this stage where you're looking out, and it's a good growth thing. You're looking out and going, okay, what is everybody else doing? The downfall is you start looking at it and comparing it like you're failing. It's not really failure. It's I like what they're doing. I'm going to take that piece, but I'm going to reject the rest.
Oh,
Or this
brilliant.
is
Yes.
something for me to strive for. I'm not ready for that yet. And because I'm not ready because they have a whole marketing team, or they have a whole back office, and
Yeah.
I'm still here. So but it's hard to get those self-assessments.
Hmm.
Social media, although we're on it right now, is the worst about that because they show the good side. They don't show the struggles on the backside.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like that's one of the things that business owners struggle with the most.
Mm.
Let me ask about your support system.
Mm.
What is home like with you? So does your husband have a W-2, or is he self-employed?
I'm not married.
Oh, even better.
I know.
So
I
so
know, for
you
many
really
reasons.
do.
For many reasons. But yes.
Oh, like, yay, she's divorced. No. Sorry.
Sometimes that is something to be yay about, but yeah.
Okay, so you don't have that. What? Tell me about your children. Self-employed, W-2.
A mixture.
Okay.
Mixture of both. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
who do you go to when you're like trying to? So let me
Yeah.
switch it a little bit.
'Kay.
So I'm also single. My parents are both W-2, have been most of their life. My dad did have a small business, but that was like, oh, eons ago, and it was a struggle, and he has nothing positive to say about any of it. And then like my brother and my sibling, all of them are W-2.
Mhm.
So I don't have a lot of in-house support staff.
Ah.
I don't have a lot of, hey, what do you think? Should I try this? Should I not? I'm
Yeah.
struggling. What do you think? I don't have that.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It is hard. It is hard. And I will tell you, I could pick apart this whole process and tell you a lot of things that I wish I had and things I'm not so blessed with. But family support, man, it is my cup runneth over. It is
Good.
in abundance for
Good.
me. And I'm so blessed, and I'm so grateful for that. And it's not just my immediate, my kids, and I have two amazing son-in-laws, and so I have three daughters and two
Oh,
son-in-laws, right?
bless.
Right, I know, it is great. I'm one grandbaby, woo! Grandma for the first time. So I have a lot of support and those are kind of my very, very immediate. And then I have siblings, and they're all very supportive. My mom passed away a little over a year ago,
Oh.
but she was always one of my biggest cheerleaders, stay-at-home mom. Worked a little bit here and there, W-2, but
Yeah.
that was just kind of, helping out to make ends meet. But where I got the most blessed was I come from a long line of entrepreneurs.
Oh, good.
I do. I do. I
Do you
mean,
think that influenced you any?
oh, absolutely.
In what way? Like, so and so did
Um,
it, or so and so had that, or hearing them talk, like, so kind of having
yeah.
that in your background, did that give you like some of the fortitude that you need to make that jump?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, watching my dad and my brothers, build their own businesses, even as a young kid, listening to them talk over the dinner table, right? Or
Yeah.
cards or whatever we were
Yeah.
doing. Listening to them talk about success, failures. They were so great about talking about all of it just openly,
Right.
honestly, transparently. I loved that because it allowed me to see the things that worked, the things that didn't work,
Right.
how to handle it when it didn't.
Right.
Man, those were some really great lessons for me to learn from, because it's not always going to work out, and,
Right.
and you're going to hit walls and things like that. Um, but watching them, and I did work for them here and there. So that was always great to kind of be thrown into it and,
To see the inside of it.
and see the inside of
Yeah.
it and watch them and listen to them, what they would go through and their struggles. Ask the questions, because
Right.
that was where I had a curiosity brain, and I would ask the questions and want to know why it didn't work and what did you do that was different,
Right.
and listen in the background. Even if maybe I wasn't asking the questions, I would listen to what was going on or what maybe the grown-ups were talking
Right.
about, so to
Right.
speak. And so, albeit that it was their businesses, so it wasn't the fact that starting this for myself wasn't an unfamiliar thing. It wasn't something so far-fetched out there.
Right.
It's still scary. It's still
Right.
mine.
Right.
I'm on my own. I'm kind of standing there doing it.
Right.
But they're all really great. They are all super fantastic, and so I have a lot of great family support. In fact, I think when I did decide to finally do this, and I said it out loud, which is like the scariest thing because you know, you ruminate
Yeah.
it and you think about it a lot. But
Yep.
man, and I said it out loud first to my kids.
How'd that go?
Absolutely. I think the biggest response I got was, "It's about time now.
Oh, yay!
It's about
That's so
time."
great.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so great.
You can do it. You're so smart. You're so great. And of course, you have this moment. You think, "Really? You think so? I am."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Tell me more. Tell me how pretty I am. You know,
Yeah.
and all the things. So lots of great support there. They just know me firsthand, and I've always been extremely open and transparent about my life with
Yeah.
my kids, and you know, my successes and failures and all the things. But so I think that was great. And then that gave me the courage to extend that out, especially to my dad and my brothers who have had successful businesses. And I think one of the best things I heard was from my one brother who we were talking about it and he said, "Okay, let's play a game." I said, "Great, let's play it." And he said, "Tell me the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
What is the worst case scenario that could happen?" And I said, I fail. I absolutely crash and burn and I fail." And he said, "Okay, then what do you do?" And I said, "Well, I guess in the immediate, I go get a job and a W-2 job and
Yeah.
I work." And he says, and how long have you been working W-2 jobs? I said, "Oh, geez, 20 plus years." He goes, "So it's fair to say you have a lot of experience." "Yeah, I do. A lot of experience in
Yeah.
management." He goes, "So you go get a job and then you put some money aside and you start over."
Yep.
And he goes, "Sounds like a pretty good, worst case scenario."
I do that a lot with people when they're trying to figure out what's next. I call it playing devil's advocate, and
Mm.
I tell them up front, I have no stake in this game. It's your decision. I'm just throwing out. Did you think about this? Did you think about that? What if this? What if that? Because I want them to be eyes wide open when they walk into it. And so I love that he did that. I love that he
Mm.
made you
Yep.
think like this is the absolute worst, and I'm okay with that because I know how to handle it. One of my things I say about myself all the time is I'm really great at failing. I know how to fail better than anybody. I can fail, fall flat on my face, and pick myself up before my butt even hits the ground all the way. I know how to fall.
Mm-hmm.
I struggle with how to succeed because that to me is still uncomfortable. Like, how do I get
Yeah.
comfortable with succeeding with success when failure? I don't think we grow unless we fail,
Oh,
is what I'm trying to
absolutely.
say.
Yeah.
So I never worried about failing.
Mm.
I was just like,
Yeah.
failing is to me, for me, failing is a sign of I've reached a new point that I haven't mastered. So there is that risk of falling.
Mhm.
Okay, worst case, I back up one step and I try again. Like a kid learning to walk. Well, and I think this is what's so great. And that's one of the things that I want to bring out into a community. I want to pull together a community of business owners that support each other. And it doesn't matter what phase of business you're in, you always have something just
Yeah.
to offer and support, whether it's your experience in life, your outlook, the way that enjoy the small moments because I
Yeah.
am very much a type A, get it done, get it done, get it done. And now I struggle with taking those moments and really enjoying them. So,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that you can bring that to me.
Yeah. Well, and I think, and I think it's good because I think we can all look back at, I look at 20 plus years of management and being working for other people. There's a lot I bring to the table
Hmm.
in business,
Yeah.
but business for myself, ooh, then you got to start really digging down deep. You got
Right.
to start really getting in there. But I think some of the bigger things is, now I have some fun stuff. My branding, right? The
Yeah.
website. We're,
Yeah.
building out a website
Yeah.
and, and I like that business card. Do I want to change it up? Do I, all the little fun things and stuff like that. But I think one of the big things too is also looking into saying it's okay that I don't know everything. I mean, I've said that for years in
Yeah.
business is it's okay for me to stand up and even look at myself in the mirror and go, "You know what? I don't know everything. And it's okay that I don't know everything." And being able to reach out to those people. And I can tell you right now, I think you posed that question. At least I think I heard I think I heard it. But oh, I would love a community
Yeah.
where I can get with some people, and whether it's they've been in, business for themselves, 2 days, 2 months, 2 years, 20, whatever it is, and just say, I don't know this, and I probably should. And that's my biggest thing,
Yep.
is being able to say, I probably should, but I don't. Help
So
me.
a little teaser. So
Yeah.
I've had a passion for a long time about building that very community. And it actually started over ink cartridges, believe it or not. I had a client one time who had this box full of ink cartridges, and she was like, I don't need them anymore. I hate to throw them away because they're still good. And I just wish there was some place that I could be like, hey, does anybody need ink cartridges? I was like, wouldn't it be great if we had like a business owners swap meet thing on the internet? And
Yeah.
so that expanded to me having clients asking me maybe HR questions. I'm like, I don't have the answers, but I'll find them for you. Let me go turn to my community. And I was like, wouldn't it be easy if I didn't have to be in the middle? Like they could just go directly to the people I know and ask the questions. That
Yes.
didn't really qualify for I need an HR person or I need an attorney. I just want to know, can I say this in an interview? No, you absolutely, okay, great. Now I didn't make that mistake.
Exactly.
Just so that, and so I am teaser, it's coming. It's coming.
Okay.
And the whole gist
Ooh,
of
this
it
is
is
exciting.
business owners come together. I don't care if you're about to start a business, been in the business for 20 years, you just sold your business. I want them to come together because everybody has something to offer. And you may have a question that I have, and it could be such a minor question. Do I need to get a W-2 on this person or not? It doesn't
Yeah.
require an entire accounting team. Do I give them the W-2 or not? Yes or no?
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. Yes.
Thank you. Where do
Yes.
I find one? IRS website. Thank you. And that's it. You're done.
Yes.
So I want to bring business owners together for that, not just to answer those questions we don't know, because yes, you can go on the internet and find them, but do you trust the source?
Yeah.
And then what if you have a follow-up questions? And then how much time do you spend researching whether or not that question is the right question? And how much can you rely on AI to give you the right?
Mm.
Don't you rather just talk to a person and go, am I crazy or there's something going on right now?
Yes.
And
Yes.
and so I want to bring that together. And so I'm
Oh
so
man.
glad to hear you say that because it is coming, world. It's coming. It's coming
Okay.
fast. We're going to offer
That would-
education opportunities, marketing opportunities, and it's all about building a community of business owners whose sole purpose is to support each other. That's it.
I love it. I love it. I will jump on that bandwagon.
Before we head out, though,
Okay.
tell everybody the name of your business, how they can get in touch with you, and what is it exactly that you offer?
Oh, okay. So, my name is Christina Cook. I am a functional nutritionist and lifestyle coach. So, in a nutshell, what I do is I help people that have life goals that they want to change. It's when they want to make that big life shift. What do I do? And yes, most of the time, it always it's around nutrition, it's around better
Yeah.
health, it's around things like that, especially if they've gotten a diagnosis, or maybe they've gotten some, something from their doctor or a friend, or they're just not feeling very good about themselves, and or gut issues, whatever it is. Let's get in there. Let's give you some hope back. Let's get a plan together. Sometimes it's just sitting down with someone and having someone else lay out the plan for you so that you can stop having decision fatigue,
Mhm.
so that you can start
Yes.
getting to action. And my biggest goal is really to just help people with the everyday things. It's not about clean out the pantry, buy all organic. And yes, I'm a firm believer in organic. I'll just plug that. But but you know what? Not even I don't buy everything that way. I don't eat completely 100% clean all the time. But man, there are so many little lifestyle changes that we just don't think about, that just get pushed underneath the rug, that can be made, that makes such an impact on your day-to-day life. And that's what I want to help people with.
And you're obviously
Yeah.
very passionate about it. Very passionate.
I am. I am. I know that that's kind of the standard answer of like, I want to help people.
No.
But you know what? I am.
No, but there's a
Yeah.
difference. You can tell when somebody's saying it because it's a plug line and when they're like, it's just who they are. And
Yeah.
this is the real deal. So if somebody wants to reach out to you, how do they get in touch with you?
The first thing that they can do is just probably just text or email. Yep. So the phone number that you can reach at is 480-678-7394. And the email is Christina Cook 1037 @gmail.
And we'll have all this information noted below. Thanks so much for joining us today. I hope you got some useful information if you're trying to make the leap or thinking about making the leap into a business owner. Christina's like, go for it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
We'll follow up with you soon. Nice to see you.